Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you for the second part for the best songs of 2023 video. Sorry, I'm reaching for my notebook just to grab it and get the last remaining songs I want to talk to you guys about finished with this video. So I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I tried doing this video last night, but it wasn't working. And I had to delete it, so hopefully this time around it starts working. So I'm going to discuss from 29 to whatever number I get to for the second part to continue this best songs of 2023 video and let you know my thoughts on these tracks that I deemed to be the best songs. So let's dive into this special video. At number 29 is Beyond Unbroken with Blood on My Hands. Pretty good track. I really enjoyed this song with how it sounded overall, and just Monty Money's vocals are really amazing with his clean vocals. It sounds really good, and his brother's screaming in the track is amazing too. So I'm really digging this song. And yes, my nephew and my sister just came home yesterday, so it's going to be a little noisy in my house again, which is fine. And that's tolerable. I just try to block it out some of the time. But yeah, Beyond Unbroken, Blood on My Hands is one of my favorite songs that came out this year, and I deemed it at number 29. So at number 29 is Beyond Unbroken with Blood on My Hands. Great track. Number 28 is Hardy with Jack. Really enjoyed this song. I like how it builds up. Like, it keeps the song progressing in a more interesting way. The lyrics are pretty interesting, and just how Hardy is singing the track, it sounds pretty good. And this song rocks for sure. So I think he made this song work for what it was going for. So number 28 is Hardy with basically Jack. Number 27 is going to be Stained with Take. I think this is a pretty good track. I really enjoyed this song for how it sounded. It is one of the last songs for the deluxe edition of Confessions of the Fallen album. To be honest, they really didn't release this on YouTube from Stain themselves, but I think they should, because this is such a great track. A great closing track to end the album. Full of Emptiness is pretty good too, but I think I like this one more, in my honest opinion. So basically, great track. And then number 27 is Stained with Take. Number 26 is going to be Sevendust with Holy Water. This is a pretty good song. It was deemable to be in the top 30 because I really enjoyed this track. I did enjoy Fence too, but I probably might save that for the honorable mentions, just so you know. But still, great song. I really enjoyed how this track works overall with basically just LeJean singing and clean vocals. It sounds really amazing, and the overall drum work and guitar work is pretty awesome, and this track definitely rocks. So number 26 is going to be Sevendust with Holy Water. Number 25 is I See Stars with Anomaly. I really enjoyed this song. Devin Oliver's vocals are pretty interesting. I think this song really worked with how it was sounding. It was a little anthemic of a chorus too, but I think this track with the experimentation was pretty amazing. And the metal stuff that they fused with it sounded pretty good. So really dig this song. So at number 25 is I See Stars with Anomaly. Number 24 is Sleeping with Sirens with Don't Let the Party Die. Now, this track really rocks for sure. It had to be in my top 25 of the best songs of the year. It wasn't in the top 20, but it's still a great, outstanding track. And it impressed me with how it sounded overall. So, Kellen Quinn's vocals are outstanding in this song. Even his screams are pretty good too, and the breakdown at the bridge is pretty amazing. So, highly recommend you check this song out. It's on the deluxe edition of Complete Collapse, which is not really much of a deluxe edition because, honestly, this was I think this was, I guess, suited to be the last song for the deluxe edition, but it just took a little time for that deluxe edition to grow on me. But still, with the track listing, it was given that it was given for it. So, number 23 is Era with Pale Iris. I think JT KV's screaming vocals are amazing. Jesse Cash's clean vocals are pretty good too. It took me a little time to get used to it because I wasn't sure if that was actually him singing, but it was, and I really liked it. So, this is an outstanding track, and it definitely rocks for sure. So, number 23 is Era with Pale Iris. I do like how the breakdown sound and the overall instrumentation is amazing, and just overall the song definitely is a pretty heavy song for most of the time. And number 22 is The Plottin' You with Forgotten. This is a pretty rockin' song. Landon's vocals are amazing in this track, meaning he does some screaming vocals that just is like, wow, this is one of their heaviest songs to date. It really was their heaviest song to date. Sorry, I'm still a little tired. I'm just waking up right now. I'm doing this in the morning because I was trying to do it last night, but the video was messing up, like I said. Um, the one I did record and all that, just I had to delete it, even though it was like 30 minutes or so. But still, number 22 is The Plottin' You with Forgotten. Really enjoyed this track. This lyrics are pretty dark and ominous and pretty brutal of a song. So it's gets in your face, this track. So basically, number 22 is The Plottin' You with Forgotten. Number 21 is Spiritbox with Cellar Door. I really enjoyed this track. It wasn't deemable to be in the top 20, but it's still a great song. Courtney LaPlante's screaming vocals are amazing in this song. She does a lot of screaming vocals through this track, and it sounds great. And I really like this song. Great opening song, great opener to the new Fear of Fear EP. It's the opening track to the Fear of Fear EP, but it's still an outstanding song for what it sounded like. So at number 21 is Spiritbox with Cellar Door. Number 20 is The Ghost Inside with Death Grip. I also forgot to mention for the last number, the instrumentation is great for Spiritbox Cellar Door. So I forgot to mention that. But yeah, to continue where I left off, The Ghost Inside Death Grip. Great track. Jonathan Vigil's screaming vocals are outstanding in this track, and this had to be in my top 20 because it's worth being in the top 20. It was going to be at a certain spot, but I deemed it to be at this spot because I really like this track, and this song hits hard with the screams, the heavy drum work and guitar work is amazing, and just overall the track is outstanding. So number 20 is The Ghost Inside with Death Grip. Number 19 is The Amity Affliction with Icy Dead People featuring Louis Nux. Louis Nux comes in the bridge part of the track, but Joel Birch's screams are outstanding in this song. And this song rocks for sure. I really enjoyed this track. And Aaron Stringer's whispers and screams from time to time are pretty outstanding. And the background vocals and all that, like the backing vocals from Aaron Stringer, are pretty outstanding. So, really enjoyed this track, and it is a banger. So, number 19 is The Amity Affliction with Icy Dead People featuring Louis Nux. Number 18 is August Burns Red with Backfire. This song came out as a single in beginning of the year, but it is a great song. It definitely rocks for sure. I think the lead vocalist, the screaming vocalist, sounds amazing in this track. It starts the song off very heavy and with a lot of screams, and it does really well. It is one of my favorite songs this year, and I deemed it to be at number 18. There are better songs than this, but that are at the lesser spot on this list, but we're getting there. So number 18 is August Burns Red with Backfire. Number 17 is The Devil Wears Prada with Salt featuring Dayseeker. I wasn't sure if I was going to deem this at the number 17 spot, but it impressed me. I like Rory Rodriguez's vocals in this track. I come back to the song on occasion, but it's still an outstanding song because when I first heard it, I fell in love with it. I think Jeremy's vocals, and sorry about my tiredness, I'm still waking up a little bit. Um, Basically, Jeremy's clean vocals are amazing in this song. Mike Ranika's screaming is pretty good. And they made this track work with Rory Rodriguez, and Rory Rodriguez's vocals are outstanding in this song, so pretty good song, and highly recommend you check this song out. So at number 17 is The Devil Wears Prada with Salt featuring Dayseeker. Number 16 is Against the Current with Silent Stranger. Now, Chrissy Costanza's vocals are pretty good and very outstanding. I really enjoyed this track for what they went for with this song, and this track impressed me. Like, it was a great track, so I highly recommend you check this song out. It came out like towards the end of September, but it was one of my favorite tracks. I like the chorus. She sounds good in the chorus with her vocals, and the drum work and guitar work and all that is pretty amazing. The song rocks. So number 16 is Against the Current with Silent Stranger. Number 15 is Make Them Suffer with Ghost of Me. Now this was a pretty heavy track. Really enjoyed this song. Never thought for the longest time I'd be a fan of Make Them Suffer. I got into them in 2020, but I'm glad I got into them because they definitely rock for sure. So basically, Make Them Suffer, Ghost of Me. They do have a new piano vocalist and pianist, and basically a new vocalist, another girl in the group, which she sounds pretty good with her vocals, but overall, I think the last chick that was in the group, apparently there were some things going on with her that was pretty bad, like some sexual assaults charges and all that, or accusations that were coming out, so it was pretty bad. Made her look bad, like she was a men abuser or something like that. Something like that. It was pretty awful. So basically, I'm glad they found a new backing vocalist for the group and a pianist too. And I think this song did work with how it overall sounded. It's one of my favorite songs this year. It's in the top 15. Number 15 is Make Them Suffer. At number 15 was Make Them Suffer with Ghost of Me. Number 14 is Dragon Force with Power of the Triforce. I really enjoyed this track when it came out, I think in October, mid-October, close to late October. And it was a pretty outstanding track. I think it came out October 18th, so a little over a month ago. But it is pretty good with how it sounds. And the fast-paced metal stuff, it is speed metal, so if you're not into this type of power metal, speed metal stuff, it's not going to be the band for you, but Dragon Force makes it work. And Mark Hudson, the lead singer of the group, the new lead singer, it was ZP Threat or something like that before, but he left the group. I don't know why. There were some things going on with that, but either way, Mark Hudson sounds pretty good vocally, and this track works, and it rocks. So, number 14 is Dragon Force with Power of the Triforce. Number 13 is Linkin Park with Lost. This is a pretty good track. One of my favorite songs that came out this year to announce the new Meteora 20th Anniversary Edition album. And I think this was as good as Fighting Myself, and Fighting Myself was pretty good. I'll give it that. It was on the last video I did record that is premiering tonight. Well, on the 27th at midnight. This is going to premiere during the daytime, just so you know, for the final part of the video. So you'll find out what my number one is at 12 hours later, I guess, or something. But still. Number 13 is Linkin Park with Lost. I think Chester's vocals made it work with this track, and may he rest in peace, because he's still missed to this day. but I think overall they made this track work for how it sounded. So at number 13 is Linkin Park with Lost. Number 12 is Dance Gavin Dance with War Machine. This is a pretty good track for how it sounded. I think the Screamer guy's vocals were amazing in this track. I'm not sure if his name's Will or not, but I'd have to go look into it. But still a great song. Tillian's vocals were pretty good. I'm glad he's back in the band because there was some sexual assault allegations coming up about him for the past year or so, which I think is pretty wrong of people to do that when they have no proof. If you have proof, then show it. If you don't, then shut the fuck up and mind your own fucking business, basically. So just don't accuse someone of something that they're not, because that's wrong. And you can get in serious trouble for that, and the band can sue you. Just so you know, because they got money. But basically, Dance Gavin Dance is one of my favorite metalcore groups. I really enjoyed their music, and their last album, Jackpot Juicer, was amazing. It was such a great album. I really enjoyed that album, and this track was amazing with the Screamer guys' vocals. Sounded quite amazing. So, but Tillian made the song work with his vocals too. So it was a group thing that they did, and this track was awesome. So number 12 is Dance Gavin Dance with War Machine. Number 11 is Static X with Terrible Lie. So it's a pretty good song. It is a cover track for Nine Inch Nails, I believe, but I think this is one of the best songs that I've listened to this year, and I deemed it at my number 11 spot. And I think Wayne Static was singing majority of the track with his screams too, and it sounds amazing. So at number 11 is Static X with Terrible Lie. Number 10 is Bring Me the Horizon with Dark Side. Excuse my yawning in this video, I'm still very tired, just so you know, and I'm trying to finish up on my coffee, but I'm going to finish up on it once I'm done with this video. So basically, Bring Me the Horizon Dark Side was one of their best tracks that came out. It's, I believe, the 5th single and last single for the Post-Human Next Gen, because I think it should be the last single for a while. I mean, if they want to release one more, they can, but honestly, I don't think they should, because they've already dropped 5 songs for this new EP. I think they need to kind of hold off and make it at least an 11-track EP, or something like that, depending on what Bring Me the Horizon does. But overall, I think Ollie Sykes' vocals were great. Even his scream vocals were outstanding. And this track sounded good symphonically, melody-wise, and musicality. Ugh. I am so sorry for my yawning in this video. Like I said, I'm very tired. So I went to bed around 1-ish, but I still feel tired and drained. So like I said, musicality was amazing. And number 10 was Bring Me the Horizon with Dark Side. Number 9 is One OK Rock with Make It Out Alive. I think this was a great track, and sorry, my nose is stuffy, and yeah, it's just congested a bit, so sorry about that. It gets that way when I wake up. So, One OK Rock, Make It Out Alive was a great track. Taka's vocals work. This is the theme song for the video game Monster Hunter Now that's on PS5, and I probably will be buying that in due time. But still, once I get a PS5, of course. But overall, I think One OK Rock is one of my favorite bands, J-rock bands, and now transitioned from Japan to American labels and all that, and they are such an outstanding band, and they've impressed me over the years with how long I've listened to them. I've listened to them for almost 8 years now, and I'm actually impressed with their music. Even Man with a Mission I've heard since 2015, so I've heard them a little longer, but still, this is a great band. Highly recommend you check them out. Their new Make It Out Alive song made it at my number 9, so yep, there you have it. Number 9, One OK Rock with Make It Out Alive. Number 8 is Bring Me the Horizon with Amen featuring Lil Uzi Vert, Daryl Palumbo, and Glassjaw. I think this was a great track. This track was outstanding for how it sounded, and basically, Ollie Sykes' screams were pretty brutal. Even Daryl Palumbo's screams were pretty good. I think overall they made this song work. Even though Lil Uzi Vert didn't have much of a verse, it still was good for how he sounded in this track. But I'm not a fan of Lil Uzi Vert, but I think they made this track work with him in it. So this was one of their heaviest tracks this year, and it was one of the best tracks I've listened to of 2023. So at number 8 is Bring Me the Horizon with Amen featuring Lil Uzi Vert, Daryl Palumbo, and Glassjaw. Number 7 is Crown the Empire with Someone Else. This is one of the regular tracks from the Dogma album that they released in April, late April, and this was a very good song. Definitely rocks for sure. I like the drum work. I like how Andy's vocals are sounding in this song. They are really outstanding. And it does impress me, this track, and sorry, I have the sniffles. So, yeah, I'm going to be dealing with that in a moment after this video. But still, it's the second to last song, and the last song I did put on this list too, just so you know. So, at number 7 is Crown the Empire with Someone Else. Number 6 is Spiritbox with Too Close, Too Late. This is one of my favorite songs this year. Even though Cellar Door was great, I think Courtney LaPlante's clean vocals in this track were outstanding, and she made the song work. She was the highlight for this track. Her vocals shined very well in this song, and just overall the mixing, the overall drum work, and some of the guitar work is pretty good. So this track definitely was one of my favorites, and I really enjoyed this track. It made it in the top 10. And it's a pretty outstanding song. So at number 6 is Spiritbox with Too Close, Too Late. Number 5 is Dance Gavin Dance again, but with their song The Ghost of Billy Royalton. This is a great track. Highly recommend you check this song out to see what you think of it. I really pretty much overall like how the screaming guy, Will, I think his name is, I'm not sure, but he basically makes this track work with his vocals, his screaming vocals, and just Tillian Pearson coming in at the chorus and all that, and the pre-chorus. This is an outstanding track. This song rocked for sure. So, number 5 is Dance Gavin Dance with The Ghost of Billy Royalton. What an amazing track I listened to this year. Number 4 is going to be The Plot in You with Left Behind. I think this was a pretty good track with how it sounded overall, and they made this track work with how it sounded. I think Landon's vocals were really good in this track. He did some like clean scream sings, I guess you could call it, but it still sounded very good, and this track was amazing. I think it came out in February this year, but it was a great track. So highly recommend you check this song out to see what you think of it. So number 4 is The Plot in You with Left Behind. Number 3 is Crown the Empire with Labyrinth. I was going to mention this track because this is such a great song. This track I did not expect to be one of my favorite songs of the year, or in my top 5, but it is in the top 5 because it's such an outstanding track. It does have some 30 Seconds to Mars reference to this Savior song that they did, and I did mention that in my album review of Dogma by Crown the Empire, but I don't think it was trying to go for that. I think it was trying to be its own song, but it still was an outstanding track for what it sounded like. And I love the way Andy is singing this track in the bridge part. Will the truth set me free, or will I be blinded by deceit? That lyric was amazing. Paralyzed underneath, will somebody carry me? So this was a great track, and I love that bridge part when it comes in with his vocals. It was great. So number 3 is Crown the Empire with Labyrinth. Number 2 is The Ghost Inside with Earn It. This is a great track. I think Ghost Inside made this song work with how it sounded overall. And just overall, this track was very outstanding. Jonathan Vigil's screaming vocals and the backing vocalist singing the chorus. I think it was the backing vocalist singing the chorus. It might have been Jonathan Vigil, I don't know. But you have to hear it live mostly. But I heard it live a little bit, the actual live footage of this song, and it sounded pretty good. So basically, The Ghost Inside made this track work, and it became one of my favorite songs of this year, but it's not Song of the Year, unfortunately. It was going to be when I did that live stream, but I found another track to be Song of the Year of 2023. The best song of 2023 I will mention in a second. So at number 2 is The Ghost Inside with Earn It. Now I'm going to talk about the honorable mentions. Number 1 is Hardy. The number 1 honorable mention is Hardy with The Mockingbird and the Crow. I think this was a pretty good track. I wish it could have been on my list, but it didn't make it on my list, unfortunately, for the best songs of 2023 at whatever spot. It was going to be on my list, but I deemed Stain Take to be on my list. So basically, the number 1 honorable mention is Hardy with The Mockingbird and the Crow. The number 2 honorable mention is Judas Priest with Panic Attack. I think this was a pretty good track with how it sounded overall, and just overall, this was a pretty good song. I think the lead vocalist sounds pretty good in this song, and the fast-paced drum work was probably the best part of the song. So it came out later this year, but it still was a great song. So highly recommend you check Judas Priest Panic Attack song out. It's definitely worth checking out. The third honorable mention is Flat Black with It's Your Lack of Respect. I did say I did put in my description of the first part of best songs of 2023 that this song was number 64, but I accidentally said what another number 64 was. And sorry about the background noise. My nephew is throwing a fit today. So Flat Black I deemed to be on my honorable mentions because I wanted to mention that, and I'm sorry for saying that I mentioned this at number 64 when in fact it was Godsmack Soul on Fire. So I kind of wasn't rehearsing that very well, just so you know, and I just risked it and just went with the flow, I guess. So just to see what songs I deemed to be on the best track. So basically, that's my number 3 mention, Flat Black with It's Your Lack of Respect. The 4th honorable mention is another Flat Black track with Justice Will Be Done. Great song. I wish it could have been on my list, but it didn't make it, unfortunately. But it's still a great track with how it sounded overall, and it's worth checking out. So definitely check this track out. It came out in late October, kind of, and it was such a great track with how it sounded overall. The 5th honorable mention is The Word Alive with New Empty featuring Normandy. I think this is an outstanding track. I think Telly Smith's vocals are pretty good, and just overall, they made this track work with him and Normandy singing, and just overall production and mixing was pretty outstanding, so pretty good track. The 6th honorable mention is Beartooth with Doubt Me. I think this was a great song, and I highly recommend you check this track out. And yes, he's throwing a fit today, just so you know. So sorry about the background noise. So Beartooth Doubt Me was a really heavy track. I really enjoyed this song with how it sounded overall. And Caleb Shomo's screaming vocals were pretty outstanding. And just when the chorus came in, you could definitely rock out to it. That breakdown with the "Don't Ever Fucking Doubt Me" lyric, and then the breakdown comes in with the heavy guitar and drum work. It sounds really good. So number 6 honorable mention is Beartooth Doubt Me. And finally, the last honorable mention before we get to our number 1 pick, my number 1 pick actually, is Beartooth with I Was Alive. Pretty good song. It is the closing track to the Surface album, and it was pretty good. And overall, I like the message behind the track, but it does mention some iffy, interesting lyrics. And the song is talking about when I died, I know I didn't just live. I'll know I didn't just live. I was alive, and all that. Track was pretty amazing with how it sounded, and overall, Caleb Shomo's clean vocals were great. So that is my last honorable mention. Now to talk about the number one. So at number one, for the best song of the year, is The Amity Affliction with Not Without My Ghosts. I think this is featuring Femme. I think this was an outstanding track this year. It became my best song of 2023 because I deemed it to be the best song of 2023, and it sounded really good. Aaron Stringer's vocals were outstanding in this song, and Fem's singing along in the background with him sounded really good. And sorry, that's my phone. Joel Birch did have some scream vocals from time to time, but he didn't have much of a part to play in this track. But Aaron Stringer and Femme made this song work. It shined very well, and this track was very good. And sorry about the background noise. He's throwing a fit right now. But still, overall, I deemed this to be best song of 2023 because I really enjoyed this track, and it was such a great song talking about mental health stuff, talking about I have to carry on but not without my ghosts, about past mistakes and events that the person made and how they can move on but have to carry their own ghosts with them just to try to cope with it and manage it, I guess you could say. So it can talk about a few different topics, but it mainly pertains to suicidal thoughts and depression. So if you know someone or are someone that is going through that kind of stuff, definitely call the suicide hotline. They can really help. They've helped me, and I recommend checking. Definitely reaching out to someone if you're struggling with that kind of thing. So, number one is The Amity Affliction with Not Without My Ghost featuring Femme. Great track. Highly recommend you check this song out. It's one of the best songs of the year, and it is best song of 2023 in my opinion. So that is going to be it for the best songs of 2023 video. I hope you enjoyed this almost 33-minute video. And with that being said, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day and night, possibly.